Hi everyone, I'm Courtney Morgan and welcome to your practice. One of the questions I'm most frequently asked is how often do I need to practice and what does that practice need to consist of? And how often you need to practice is really up to you. You have to discern what is appropriate for you, what's sustainable for your body, and sustainable for your time. So for some people that's going to be practicing once a day, and for others they'll be practicing once a week. A lot of us fall somewhere in the middle of that. In terms of what to practice, I think it's really important to practice things that sustain your body and really help to unwind some of the tensions and patterns that we encounter every day in our modern life. So this could include stuff that happens from sitting or looking at screens all day, but also from commuter culture, also just from carrying stress and tension. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. So there are many facets to consider, but generally, being in the body is usually a really nice entryway in to feeling more calm and centered in the mind. So for today's class, we're going to need not just one, but 2 blocks. And we'll also need a resistance loop. If you don't have one of these, it's okay. You don't have to use one at all. It really just adds resistance, as the name implies. So we'll just have that stuff available, and let's get started. Okay, so let's begin on our backs. Go ahead and let your legs lengthen all the way out and bring your arms down by your sides, just in a very simple Shavasana. If it's more comfortable for you at this point to have your feet on the floor with the knees bent, feel free to do that as well. Let your eyes close and take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Take another deep breath in. Exhale as you release. Maybe letting your lips close and breathing through your nose. But if that feels strenuous or like it's a strain in any way, breathe through your mouth. And connect to the feeling of your back body on the ground. Just feeling the back of the skull, the backs of the shoulders, the arms and the hands, the back of the pelvis, the legs and the heels, all resting fully into the ground. Just beginning at 0. Allow yourself to take just another moment or two to observe the quality of your breath, the quality of your attention. And just know that there's nothing that you need to fix or change. We're simply allowing ourselves to be in a space of observation, in the space of noticing. From here, we'll slowly bend one knee at a time, plant your feet on the floor. Feet are about hip distance, maybe a touch wider. Interlace your hands, take the elbows wide and bring your hands behind your head. Okay. And on your in-breath, go ahead and lift your navel towards the ceiling, arching the back. And as you exhale, draw the navel towards the floor, almost like you're trying to round your spine. So imagine this like an on your back cat-cow. Inhale as you move the navel towards the ceiling. And exhale, draw navel to spine, low back into the floor. And continue moving this way, just simply observing the rock of the pelvis forward and back. Noticing any natural extra breaths that you'd like to take. Maybe any pops or clicks. This is a really nice way to start a practice because it's out of gravity, it's not aggressive, it's just moving the spine. Just encouraging this almost fluid-like quality to practice. And just one or two more little spinal undulations here like this, keeping it very simple. Okay, so on your next in-breath, you're going to prepare, drawing navel towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, navel moves towards the spine, spine into the low back. Draw your elbows together, round the spine, curl the head up so you're stretching back of the neck as well. And then inhale, take the elbows wide, let the back of the head come down, arch the spine. Exhale, spine towards the floor, elbows in, round the back, curling through the neck, through the spine. Inhale, take elbows wide, arching the back, exhaling, rounding spine. So it's almost like an old-fashioned sit-up, but we're just not worried about it. Right? We're not worried about the core engagement of it. And take 2 or 3 or 4 more here. Letting the head be really heavy, letting the neck just move with the hands, right? So you don't have to pull the head up using the muscles of the neck. You're just pulling the head up using the arms and the hands. And inhale to take the arms wide. And on your exhalation, release your arms, release your legs. Taking a moment to notice and pause. Taking a moment to reconnect with the sensation of breath. And from here, gently bending just the right knee. Right foot comes to the floor. And we'll keep it really simple and just go ahead and take that knee over to the left and then arch into the low back. Your outer edge of your right foot might pull up towards that right knee and exhale to come back to center. Nice. Inhale, take the knee across the body. Big breath in. And exhale to come back. So you're just flopping around like a big catfish. Inhale, take the knee across the body. And exhale to come back to center. A couple more times. You might even start to reach the right fingertips down to the right. And then exhale, come back, exaggerating that C shape with the spine. Inhaling, take the knee across. And exhale to come back. And just last time here. Inhaling, knee across, arch the back. And exhale to release. Go ahead and lengthen the right leg. We'll bend the left knee. And planting left foot on the floor on your in-breath, take your knee across your body to the right. Arch into the low back. Really just let yourself move very fluidly. And then exhale to come back. Inhale, take the knee across the body. And exhale to come back. And so the foot stays on the floor the whole time. Inhale as the knee moves across the body, still keeping connected foot and floor. And exhale to come back. Inhale, swing that leg towards the midline of the body, called an in-swing. And exhale. Inhale, take knee across the body, arch the back. You might even reach left fingertips down into the left. And exhale to come back. Inhale, knee across the body. It's last time like this. And exhale to come back. And lengthen out both of your legs. Let your arms rest by your sides. Pause. Breathing, letting everything be heavy and giving the weight to gravity. We'll bend both knees, bring the feet to the floor. Go ahead and roll to one side. Come up to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, go ahead, walk the hands forward just a little bit. Point index fingers towards the top edge of the mat. Spread all 10 of your fingers wide, and then tuck the toes. Lift the hips up and back, keeping the knees bent. Make your way into downward facing dog, just with knees bent. Okay? So as you stretch through the arms, press down through the palms, especially the webbing between the index finger knuckle and the thumb. And as you establish connection there, feel the top of the lungs start to open and spread. And breathe into the side waist. Exhale completely. And on your next breath, start to send the tops of the thighs back. Send the heels down and back. And then we'll go ahead and pedal the feet, just bending one knee, lengthening through the opposite heel. Certainly, if you had some shoulder stuff going on, you don't need to practice this in the vinyasa type format that I'm showing. You could just take all of these things apart and exclude down dog and plank and stuff like that. And when you're ready, find a little stillness, feeling both hands, both feet on the ground, tops of the thighs up and back, front ribs gently drawing in, heels reaching down and back. And establishing firm connection with yourself and the earth. Firm connection with yourself and the breath. And we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. Keep the left knee high. And then inhale to come up to a high lunge. Okay? So hands can rest on your right knee. We'll bend the left knee. Go ahead and let the hips sink a little bit lower. And then with your fingertips, go ahead and find your front hip points. Gently pull them up, and you'll feel that that increases the stretch along the front of the left thigh. Okay? Keep that the same. Send your left thigh up and back. And then exhale, bend the left knee. And again, reestablish front hip points up and back. Lengthen left leg up. And then exhale, bend the knee. And find the front hip points, gently pull them up. Scoop the front ribs back. Left thigh reaches up and back. And then we'll pause, inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale as you reach your arms forward. Cross your right leg or right arm on top of your left. And then if you can, join the palms together. If not, back of the hands is totally fine. We'll lift the elbows up, press the palms away. Take a couple of big breaths here into the upper back, into those fibers between the shoulder blades. So can you start to root down through your right heel just a little bit more? Feel your right hamstring and glute turn on. Can you keep the top of the left thigh reaching up and back? And can you now draw the fingertips up towards the ceiling? Good, one last breath like this. And exhale as you release your hands. Fingertips to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Nice, taking a couple of breaths here. Again, pedaling feet, moving around. Shaking the head yes or no. And step your left foot forward between your hands. Keep the right knee high. Come up to a high lunge. Just pausing, and then hands come to the hips. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Find the front hip points, those bony knobs on the front of the hips, and gently pull up a little bit. It's easier to do with the knee bent. And then we'll keep those lifting. Send your right thigh up and back. Good. Again, we'll bend the right knee. Draw the front hip points up. And then send the right thigh up and back. This is all hip flexor stretching and lengthening. And then again, bend your right knee. Last time, we'll draw the front hip points up. Send your right thigh up and back. Inhale to sweep the arms up for a high lunge. And then exhale, bring the arms forward. Cross the left elbow on top of the right. Join the palms or back of the hands. Lift the elbows up and press the forearms away from you. And take a couple of breaths. So as you're rooting down through the feet, start to now focus on pressing down through that left heel. Feel your left hamstring and glute start to turn on. Keep sending right thigh up and back. And then just a little bit more, pull your fingertips towards the ceiling. Take another in-breath like this. And exhale as you release your hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice pausing, moving if you need to move a little bit, pedaling or shaking the head. Stillness is such a luxury. We're constantly moving on to the next thing. Let yourself find a little bit of stillness, a little pause between each thing. Now on your in-breath, we'll come forward to a plank pose. Good. Pausing in plank. And same things apply. So bend your knees a little bit, right? And as you bend your knees, reroot through the palms. Try to lengthen the heart forward. And then send the tops of the thighs up and back. Just like you did in that lunge or in downward facing dog. Take another breath like this. And we'll exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Good. Untuck your toes. Bring your arms by your sides and turn the palms down with the thumbs pointed out. And then even let your forehead touch the ground. Right? So nose is touching the ground, forehead's touching the ground. From here, we'll lift the face straight up from the floor. So keep looking down. Lift the arms away from the floor. And let this whole body movement be about the back body, the posterior chain. Lift the legs. Take another breath. And then exhale as you release. Go ahead and turn your head to one side. Take a moment, maybe wiggle, maybe shake. Head turns back to the center. Arms by your sides, turn the palms down. And again, we'll peel the face, peel the nose away from the floor. Lift the arms up, lift the legs up. This is a really effective way to practice this pose because it works the extensor muscles of the neck and the extensor muscles of the spine. Right? These tend to get pretty weak over time because we're hunched forward. Take another in-breath like this. And exhale as you lower. Turn your head the other way. Replace your palms on the floor. Tuck your toes, lift your thighs, and then inhale here. On your exhalation, you'll either come up to hands and knees, or you'll come up to plank, and then exhale to downward facing dog. Good. One big in-breath through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Step your right foot between your hands. Bring your left knee to the floor. We'll walk the hands back, flip the right toes up. Go ahead and take a moment here, just in a really simple version of Hanumanasana, or the splits, and find a nice hamstring stretch. So as you draw the toes back, reach the heart forward. Your knee might be a little bit bent, that's okay. And then if for you it feels good to have blocks, then have blocks, right? They just raise the floor up to you. So can you imagine those front hip points curving up again, belly drawing in, heel pulling back, almost like you're actually trying to scrub the heel on your mat. And then exhale, walk the hands forward, bend the right knee, right foot to the floor. Both hands come inside of the right foot now. Walk your foot to the side and turn your foot off of your mat. So ball of the foot turns off of the mat just about 45 degrees. Right hand to the right knee. Go ahead and turn and twist. Good. And with left hand still on the floor or on a block, bend your left knee, reach back with your right hand. So I realize this is a very difficult movement for a lot of people. If so, grab your resistance loop, and it's a really easy thing to just grab it and pull with that, right? So you're trying to draw back through the foot, draw forward through the hand. And it's really important to stretch the front of the thigh, both in a straight leg position and in a bent knee position. The quadriceps and the hip flexors aren't the same things. There is one that acts as both, but we really have to address both, especially with all the sitting we do. So send the foot back, open the chest, inhale. And then exhale as you release the foot. Tuck the toes, step back, downward facing dog. And we'll step left foot forward between the hands. Bring the right knee to the floor. If you like having blocks to this, grab your blocks, draw the toes back. Okay, and then you pause here in this version of Hanumanasana. So try to hug that outer left hip back, try to pull the heel back. And imagine the front hip points pulling up and in, heart reaching forward just like a plank pose. Take another big breath like this. And we'll exhale, walk the hands forward, walk hands and blocks forward if you're using that. And then left arm inside of the left leg. Walk your foot to the left, turn the ball of your foot off of your mat to the left. So your foot's about 45 degrees. Left hand to the left knee, inhale. And then exhale as you turn, twisting open to the left. Bend your right knee, reach back with the right hand or your right hand and your loop. And then press the foot back into the hand. And imagine that right front hip point pulling up and forward. So you're working with a little bit of resistance. Active release stretching is a really effective way to lengthen the muscle fibers. Then remember to breathe right into the belly, right into the back, right into the sides of the waist. And then we'll exhale and release the hands. Tuck the toes, step back, downward facing dog. On your in-breath, come forward to a plank pose. As you exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes. Bring your hands behind your back and have your resistance loop. So place the loop around the outer edge of your hand so your palms are pointed towards each other, thumbs are pointed down. And this time we'll inhale, lift everything up. Try to pull your hands apart. Good. We'll stay here. Lighten the resistance, so try to pull the hands together and then pull the hands apart. A couple more like that, hands towards each other, hands apart, hands towards each other, hands apart, and exhale as you release down. Keep your hands right there, we'll be right back. Just as we did during the first round, peel your face, peel your nose away from the floor. Lift your legs away from the floor. And then reach those fingertips back. So you're trying to get longer, not necessarily bendier, right? Try to pull the hands apart from each other. Okay. Can you feel this lengthening the back of the neck? Take another breath. Keep pulling arms apart. And exhale as you release down. Loop to the side, palms to the floor, tuck the toes. Take an in-breath here. And as you exhale, either hands and knees are plank, downward facing dog. Good, big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Good. And coming down onto hands and knees, turn onto your side. This is an oldie but a goodie. I do have a little bit of a love affair with exercise videos on YouTube from the 80s specifically, or early 90s. So this always reminds me of them. So with the resistance loop around the lower part of the thighs, go ahead and come down onto your side, right? Your forearm supporting you. If you haven't ever done these before, they're super effective, if not a little bit cheesy. But we'll go ahead and lift the top leg, pause, and then exhale. Good, lift the top leg, pause, and exhale. We'll just keep going, about 10 or 15 on each side. We are generally chronically really weak in our outer hips because we don't use them that often unless you happen to have a job or an activity you love that does, maybe like rollerblading. But for a lot of us, even those of us immersed in the yoga world, we just don't use these muscles all that much very consciously. So just keep going. Once it gets hard to hold the knee, that's when you know you need to do just a couple more. Right? And last time. And we'll release that down. Go ahead and come to a seat. Just flip around. Support yourself with your forearm. Stack your legs. Okay. And then again, we'll just lift the top leg and exhale to release. Really, really simple. It does not get more basic than this, and sometimes really basic actually just is the most effective thing. Okay. So we'll keep going. 4 or 5 more. Pausing at the top. Make sure there's a moment where you're really squeezing and engaging those outer hip muscles, the abductors. These are really important muscles, especially if you tend to have low back pain because they stabilize the pelvis and the lower back. And we'll come all the way down. Gently unwind. You could certainly do a few sets of those if you wanted to. Make your way back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog as you're ready. We'll bring the right knee behind the right wrist, right ankle behind the left. Go ahead and lengthen that left leg behind. Good. Fingertips to the floor. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, walk the hands forward. Letting the shoulders drop, letting the eyes drop. If you like having a block under your forehead, this is a really great idea to support the little bones of the neck. If you've caught yourself wandering in your mind, thinking about work or dinner or whatever else needs to get done, that's totally fine. Once again, reconnect to your body. Feel the solidness of your body against the ground. Feel the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your lungs. And then we'll place the block to the side if you're using that. Tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. And bring the left knee behind the left wrist, left ankle behind the right. Come to a half pigeon pose. So really directly stretching now the fibers that we worked with the resistance band. Walk the hands forward and lengthen the chest. And as you exhale, let yourself fold. Using a block, letting yourself lay all the way out, really whatever's useful for you. And part of establishing a regular practice is not only the determination, the conviction, and the drive to do it. Okay? It's not just about creating a habit or a schedule, but it's also being willing to meet yourself with a lot of sweetness and a lot of compassion with where you are. We fluctuate so much throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, the year. Things happen both in and out of our control. And sometimes your practice needs to adapt to suit you where you are. So can you find just a little more sweetness through that outer hip, a little less push, and letting yourself be a little heavier. And then gently bringing palms to the floor as you're ready. Tuck the back toes, step all the way back, downward facing dog. And we'll inhale and come forward to a plank. Exhale, lower either chaturanga or to the floor. And then inhale to a back bend that feels good to you. So for some people it will be lower, for some it will be a little higher. I actually get a lot just in this kind of adolescent cobra with the elbow still bent, drawing back, reaching the heart forward. Take another breath, lift the heart, move the head back, and tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll come down onto the knees. Come onto our backs. Okay. Go ahead and take your resistance loop. And we'll place the loop around the right leg. So all the way up around the thigh. And then place your left foot in the loop as well. Okay, so right knee can bend, left knee can bend. They're actually close to where they are level with each other when you start. And reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Okay. And then go ahead and hug your right knee towards your chest, lengthen your left leg away, left arm reaches alongside your left ear. And then exhale back to center. Good. Again, we'll send left foot forward, left arm back. Again, really great core stabilizing movement, and come all the way back. Left leg forward, left arm back, and all the way back. Good. Left leg forward, left arm back. And exhale. If this is too much on your head, or if it's not comfortable to rest your head on the floor, you can place a block under your head. Right? We're going to keep going. 2 more on this side. Right knee hugs in, working that hip flexor. Left leg forward, working hamstring and glute. And then last time. And all the way back to center. Good. Go ahead and unwind. Loop around the left leg. And right foot into the loop. Okay. So knees start off parallel to each other. Both arms reaching towards the ceiling. We'll lengthen the right leg away. Hug your left knee in. Reach your right arm alongside your right ear. And then exhale all the way back. Good. Right foot forward, right arm back, and come all the way back. And just continue in that motion. So can you hug your left knee in a little bit more? And all the way back. Part of what's really effective about a home practice is that you can be honest with yourself about the stuff that you've gotten into habitually. So it's really nice to come back to familiar things. But it's really nice, too, to take those familiar things and challenge them. So this is almost just a bird dog, right? On your knees, taking the arms forward and the legs back, alternating. But adding a little resistance, placing it on your back, it just changes your relationship to it. It challenges a different part of the body. And one more here. And all the way back. Good. Go ahead and unwind yourself from the strap. Strap to the side. We'll come back. Feet on the floor for a moment, arms by your sides. Let your feet or your knees fall together, feet wide. Close the eyes. You might even place your hands on your belly, or one hand on your belly, one on your heart. Just touching in. Allowing eyes to open as you're ready. Grab your strap. Place the strap around the ball of the right foot. And then left foot can stay on the floor as is. If you can easily reach your toe, feel free to reach your toe. Just drawing the toes back, ball of the foot back, reaching up through the heel. Pausing here. Supta Padangusthasana is such a wonderful thing that you can do every day. It really helps loosen the legs, loosen the back. Bring both sides of the strap into the left hand. Right thumb can come into the right hip crease and just gently press away. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. But keep the back of your right hip on the floor as you take your right leg across your body, just 20 or 30 degrees. Touching on outer hip. And then inhale to come back through center. Bend your right knee, right foot to the floor. Bend your left knee. Strap around the ball of the left foot. And lengthen your foot towards the ceiling. Draw the toes back, reach up through the heel. And then just pause. Okay. If your shoulders tend to hike up, let them drop. Let your shoulders be really relaxed. Focus on the tongue and the jaw releasing. And unless it's uncomfortable or it doesn't feel appropriate right now, go ahead and let your eyes close as well. We'll bring both sides of the strap into the right hand. Bring your left thumb into your left hip crease. Take your leg across your body to the right, just 20 or 30 degrees. We'll inhale to come back through the center. Bend the knee, release that loop. Hug both knees into your chest. And then take the knees wide, hands to your ankles, and just go ahead and rock a little bit side to side. Okay. And if you're set up right next to a wall, this will be really easy for you. Otherwise, go ahead and move yourself to a wall. I'm just going to actually use this column over here, and I'm going to take my resistance loop with me. So scoot up so that your outer hip is against whatever it is you're leaning against. We'll lean back and bring the legs up. And then sometimes it just feels nice to take the loop, place it around the upper calves or the thighs. It just allows your legs to rest a little bit more. Okay? Doesn't have to be complicated. Let your arms rest down by your sides, up alongside your ears and little cactus arms, or maybe hands on your belly. They're all really wonderful, sweet places to let yourself rest. We'll close the eyes here. Allow the back of the pelvis to become heavier. Let the legs fully release. And then take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let go. Take another deep breath in. And open the mouth to release. Allowing the lips to part. And allowing the breath to soften. Feel your whole body release and relax into the floor. And if you feel really comfortable like this, please feel free to stay like this and just tune me out. If you'd like to, I invite you to take a handful of long, slow, deep breaths just to help further settle the nervous system. So very slowly, we'll breathe in through the nose, filling the bottom of the lungs, the middle of the lungs, and the top of the lungs. And exhale, top of the lungs, middle of the lungs, lowest lobes of the lungs. Just fully releasing. Again, begin to inhale as though you're filling a container from the bottom up. And exhale fully, just letting go slowly, gently, sweetly. As you are ready, inhale. And when it comes naturally for you, allow yourself to exhale. And 2 or 3 more times, just depending on your cadence. Long, slow in-breath. And a long, slow out-breath. One or 2 more times. Filling to your capacity. And exhaling completely. And allow your breath to just come back to its soft and natural cadence. Go ahead and bend your knees, sliding your feet down the wall. Just resting there, knees in your chest. And gently reaching up, sliding that resistance loop away, and roll to one side. And letting your neck stay soft and your head stay really heavy. Use your hands, your arms to help yourself come up to seated. Once you're seated, give your shoulders a roll up, a roll back. Again, a roll up, and then a roll back. And we'll join the palms, bow the chin, take a moment of gratitude for our time. Namaste, everybody. Thanks for joining.